Hello, it's Charlie here, 2015. You may remember me from such videos as Everything is Okay, Love Police, blah 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 blah. Not done a video yet for 2015 and I'll explain why. The main reason is because it's been very wet and very cold and very depressing here in the northwest of England, and I've had to sort out a lot of personal stuff, you know. Not going to go on too much about that. We've all got our own personal issues, and the trick in life is to take the punches and keep on going, keep on loving, keep on believing in amazing things. And the subject of today's vlog is, what is your creation myth? And it's amazing. There's a guy, he is fundraising for one of the charities. He came up to me with a lovely woolly hat, and he was like, "Oh, Charlie, oh." And I said to him, he goes, "What are you up to?" I said, "I'm shooting a vlog." He goes, "What's the subject?" I said, "What is your creation myth?" And he, being a mathematician, a maths graduate, told me some incredible, fantastic concepts. One of them being a Fourier tunneling within quantum physics. I don't know. Anyway, I'll tell you the main advantage of having done what I've done over the last 5 years. And if there's a bit of tremble here, it's not that I've got, you know, shaky, is that it's very cold and very windy. And one of the reasons I'm wearing a hat is that my hair is in that really awkward stage, you know, that kind of when you're trying to grow your hair out a little bit because it's starting to recede and thin out and you're in your mid-30s and you think, I would like to have slightly shaggier surfer hair just for a little bit. But I look like some sort of 1970s kind of salesman, so let me just put this on, try and look a little bit smarter. But the reason why I'm not asking what is reality is because nobody can figure it out for sure. And if you're like me and you believe that everything ultimately is infinite mind is consciousness, in philosophy it's called idealism, you can also call it panpsychism, you can call it pantheism, and there's many different levels of pantheism as well, going up to astronomers like John Leslie who believe in a respectable form of pantheism, of infinite minds infinitely creating more infinite minds, and I'll come on to that in a second. But let me just sit down before I freeze to death. Let me see, I'm sat on this ball. See the balls? I've got to sit on that. Oh my god, it's windy. It's very windy. And one thing I've learned, okay, I'll tell you, coming back to it, the best thing about vlogging or doing YouTube or doing Love Police that I've done for the last 5 years is that it's given me an incredible opportunity to A, analyze concepts that I'm interested in, B, not having had to, like, you know, destroy my soul in a 9-to-5 office job that I hate so much. That came with its own challenges. I never made enough money, that caused stress, but I feel like I've kind of developed, I've been almost in the university of life, philosophizing very, very big concepts at leisure. Not at leisure, but, you know, I've had the time. And unlike the ancient Greeks, I didn't even need slavery to do it. So, unlike Aristotle, Plato, Socrates, I am too cold. But what is your creation myth? I'll tell you mine. I'll tell you Charlie Veitch's creation myth. I am a pantheist, an idealist, and I think it's infinite mind. This solves the mind-matter duality problem made famous by Descartes. It solves that completely. If everything is mind, then you can explain matter as just the perception of matter. And when you use quantum mechanics, you know how in quantum mechanics everyone's heard of the double slit experiment? It's a wave when you're not looking at it, it's everywhere, wavy. And then when you look at it, it's a particle. And please look up the Heisenberg uncertainty principle if you can. So, nothing is locked down, and like the mathematics and quantum physics will prove this, that unfortunately when you're not looking at stuff, when no one's perceiving anything, it's just a massive soup of infinite potential. The universe is infinite potential waiting to be made into mind, into your mind or my mind. And what does the universe do? What does the totality do? Well, without falling too deeply into the anthropic principle saying, oh, this is fantastically special for us, in this universe, in this world, we have sentience. We have thinking, feeling, emotional creatures called human beings with this whole pyramid of an amazing animal kingdom, flora, fauna, you know, everything's on Earth. And why? Why? You know, there's Platonic idealism that looks for the good. The universe exists because it's good to exist. And there are perfect ideals out there. Perfect ideals of things, and we have to exist. And some people say, well, how do you explain the problem of suffering, evil and suffering? And many, you know, philosophers, religious people, theologists, even New Age people have tried to explain how this world is an illusion. This, I think, comes from Eastern philosophies, more kind of like, you know, Hinduism, Buddhism, Zen Buddhism. This is an illusion. And when you think of everything as infinite mind, you can see that infinite mind, by its very name, is vast, and it's thinking infinitely. So what does it do? What is, when you're infinite, what is the only thing that's worth anything? And you know, Christian tradition will say that God, you know, the universe created man and woman in his image, in her image, in the image of the universe. And you know, the human body, the kind of ratios follows the golden spiral, the Fibonacci sequence. Please look that up if you don't know what that is. It basically, you know, the same patterns that are in galaxies and water going down a plug hole, in snowflakes, in the human body, the ratios, in palm trees, the fronds, the kind of ferns. It's all there. And basically, what is a universe to do if it knows and has everything? The only thing from a kind of modern or ancient Greek or idealistic or pantheistic point of view, police helicopter, you know, you cannot escape your past. And you know my videos, there's always going to be some, listen. Yep. What is there to do when you are the totality? And the answer is to create new gods, to create new minds, which will then learn about love and sadness and hurting and truth, most importantly about truth. And then we, within this framework, we then have our own children, which we love, we nurture, and we teach about truth. But very importantly, you cannot have love without freedom. A compelled love is slavery. A compelled love is not love. It's like a contradiction in terms. It's like saying, I am a married bachelor. Doesn't make any logical sense. It's an illogical statement. So compelled love, compulsion in love, no. So, if you're going to have a free universe, you have to put up with, unfortunately, suffering. And let's take an analogy here. The suffering and warfare on this world on a cosmic infinite level is the same as your toddler falling over and grazing his knee. He or she will cry, they'll be very upset, it'll seem very real at the time, but it's insignificant given a big enough time scale. And infinity being obviously the greatest time scale, in fact time becomes meaningless when you use the word infinite. On an infinite time scale, you can only know things if you've made your mistakes. You know, someone can tell you something, but until you've made your own mistakes, it doesn't make any sense. Like we tell our children, don't do this, don't do that, but we know as good parents, we have to let them make mistakes within reason. You're not going to let your kid do something terrible that's going to like ruin their lives or, you know, hurt them. But you can let your kid have ideas which are wrong, and they'll learn from those ideas because they'll find out it doesn't work. So, the universe, in a kind of respectable pantheism, as above, so below, it's creating images of itself. It's creating billions, trillions, infinite numbers of new minds. And I think what the earthly world is, what this kind of strange human, we seem completely disconnected from the animal kingdom, yet our DNA is exactly the same. We're connected, yet not connected. We're the only species that can abstract these incredible thoughts that we know of. Maybe dolphins, orangutans, chimpanzees, maybe they can do the same. But what if, this is my creation myth, what if when we die, our true nature as infinite gods, you know, I've got to use that word, God, infinite minds, infinite creators comes into being, and once we've lived the life here, then it's our turn, because then we grow up, that is our maturity. At the moment we are children, to use that analogy, father, son, you know, comes from Christian stuff, forgive me, blah, blah, blah. Once we die, then it's your turn, then you've discovered just how, I guess, sacred and profane reality can be. You've realized just how beautiful and terrifying love can be. And then what do you want to do? You want to have more children and let them do it for themselves. So infinite minds creating infinitely for infinity. And we are just, I think, minds at the very start of our journey. Again, this is just myth, I don't know. But I feel, I love, I think. And we are infinite minds beginning here. And you need, this is like a rite of passage in a tribe. The tribe of the gods. And you have to be born, You have to suffer childhood, you have to be bullied, you have to have a teenage acne, you have to be broken up with, you have to have love affairs, you have to have family, you have to have jobs, you have to break bones, you have to have operations, you potentially have to go to war, you eventually have to miss your family, you eventually have to grow old, lose your mind, pass away. And only then, once you've lived a real human life, when you've really gone down to the nitty-gritty of like real, what's the word? Visceral life, once you've had that, then you can be a god, and then you go and create your own universe, because it's infinite space forever. Go and do your own, and you'll probably, being a mind, being a god, you'll probably say, I want a beautiful kingdom with beautiful creatures that can grow and be free to love. They can deny me, they can deny their god, but eventually they will see that they are a part of God, and only truth is real, only love is real, and that is that. So welcome back to my channel, welcome back to my videos. I'm sorry I've not posted for a while. It's been a dark and depressing winter, but we are back. The same big questions are still here. What is reality? Why is reality? What is love? Why am I here? And how can we save the world? And I think, you know, taking a slight detour from a lot of the aims of many of my last videos, potentially the only real fight is within yourself, within the self. You know, the Upanishads from India, the ancient Hindu scriptures, talk about the self as God. And then Christianity in the West, which then led to Islam, but Christianity, I guess they were trying to be humble, be nice about it. No, you're not God, you're the son of God. And you know, Jesus Christ is your brother, and then you're also a son of God. So before this could open up a whole new video here, but you are, you know, what I'm trying to say is you're very special, you're amazing, we all are. We are all brothers in this incredible journey, and there's no reason except illusion and fear and guilt which causes us to hurt each other. And this is the big thing about the ego, the kind of devil we all have inside us, is that it doesn't want you to figure out just how amazing you are, and neither does the whole capitalist system, because you are a shit consumer if you realize how amazing you are. And that's that. Love you all.